and Listings podcast. I have Sadie Jones here with It's Always Sunshine and Roses. Hey, Sadie, thanks for coming in.
Hey Jennifer, thanks for having me.
Tell me a little bit about what you do.
So, my name is Sadie Rose Joan. I am the founder of It's Always Sunshine and Roses. We offer digital and creative marketing strategy for real estate agents and brokerages. Really have our hands on a lot of other things as well, from agent training to agent onboarding, some admin stuff, CRM management. So, yeah, that's what I do.
How did you get into that?
Oh man. It's it is quite the story. So I actually got into marketing straight after college. Got hired on at a PR and marketing firm in downtown OKC. And long story short, it was a terrible experience. I was crying on a weekly basis. I won't say that, in my opinion, it was bad leadership. I will just say it was terrible leadership. And I thought, oh my God, what have I done? Like, I just got my degree in marketing. I hate my life. So I worked there for like 6 months and I was like, I gotta get out of here. Like, I just felt like there had to be more when it came to just business in general. Like, I really felt like I was working my life away and I wasn't happy. So, my sister got her residency in Greensboro, North Carolina, and I was like, hey, what if I moved with you? And I did. And I did some interviews and I got hired on for a man named Paul who owned his own real estate brokerage. And I had no clue about anything real estate. I had no idea what I was doing, but he kind of just he trusted me, which I have no idea why he did, to be completely honest, because I didn't have any experience. But he really opened so many doors for me. He sent me through real estate school so that I was more knowledgeable in what I was doing. He ended up purchasing a Next Home franchise and was like, all right, you're going to launch this thing. You're in charge of the budget. You're in charge of the marketing. You're in charge of the emails. You're in charge of recruiting, just everything. And I was like, dude, you're crazy. Like, I have no freaking clue what I'm doing. And he was like, you got it, girl. And I was like, okay. So I worked for him for about 3 years. He is an incredible human. I attribute the start of my career to him. I actually still work for him, with him today. But yes, I worked for him for 3 years, and then me and my husband wanted to travel for a bit. So I had to go to him and say, Paul, I'm thinking about moving and traveling for a bit. I think I'm gonna have to quit my job. And he was like, there's no way I can lose you. Would you consider working remote? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And this is like before the pandemic too. So working remote was like the dream.
Mm-hmm.
So I moved. I took him on as my very first client. He ended up selling his franchise to a different set of clients that I have who I call like my OGs. They're amazing. And then just over time, slowly but surely, through word of mouth and referral, I just kept building and building and building. And here.
Amazing. Awesome.
Yeah.
I just feel like I love that story because I feel like it's very similar to mine, in all honesty. Like,
Yeah.
just kind of like you get thrown in this thing, and then all of a sudden you find out you're actually really good at it and you like it,
Yeah.
and you just run with it, right? And
Right.
I think, pivoting a little bit, we kind of talked about like your mentality in business, and really it's very similar to how I run my business too. Like, let's dive into that a little bit. Like, how do you feel running your business? How do you approach getting new clients? Like, let's dig into that.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm a little bit quirky when it comes to business. I like to tell people that I take a deeply personal approach to business, which, kind of freaks some people out because they're like, you can't be personal in business. I don't know, for me, it's always been different. When I started imagining what business looked like for me, I wanted my business name and the services that I provide to really be a declaration of what I stand for as a person and the sort of life that I want to lead. So I started, playing around with names, and like I just thought of It's Always Sunshine and Roses because you hear all the time it's not always sunshine and rainbows. And we all know that it's not. Like, life is really hard and business is hard, but I wanted what I had to say in my life to be like, if I come into your life or if you hire anybody in my business, that we come in, we really make you feel lighter and brighter. We take a weight off of your shoulders, and we want it to be the best part of your day. It's super important for me to be really intentional with all of my clients. We don't just talk about business, we talk about life, we talk about struggles. So that piece is extremely important to me. I think for me and everybody else, it's really, really easy to get caught up in this idea that there's work and then there's life, and we work from 9 in the morning to 5 p.m., and that's work. And then at 5 p.m., we get to start our lives. And to be completely honest, that was like soul crushing to me. Like, I just thought to myself, like, I want to live this super robust life, and it can't start at 5 p.m.
Mm-hmm.
I want to make this big impact. So I need to figure out how to fully integrate my life into work. I wanted to be super proud of every single thing that I did. And I just kind of realized, like, we have one life. Like,
Yeah.
we have one, like one. And every single moment is a part of our life, including work. So, yeah, I think having this personal aspect has allowed me to live free. It allows me to be fulfilled in my own life and to create these like really, really robust relationships with my clients. So, yeah.
Do you think that's like turned into longer term clients by building that rapport and relationship?
100%. I think what's so interesting to me, and I think that this is just insane, but I have never done any of my own marketing. Like, I offer this as a service and I don't do it for myself, which I think for like a business owner and just like somebody who always wants to help other people, it is hard to put yourself at the top of
Yeah.
that list. But I've never had to seek out business. But I like to think about, people always say, like, what's going to open doors or what's going to get you a seat at the table. And you have to think about that realistically. Like, why would somebody want to open the door for you? Or why would somebody want to sit and break bread with you? And it's not because have the best product ever, you sold the most, or you have all this money, or you recruited the most agents, or have the biggest brokerage, or whatever it may be. It's because you took the time to be present with that person, and you were intentional, and you made them feel like they were a real person in this life. So
Oh,
I think like that has been like, I attribute all of my success to me being super intentional in my relationships and in my business.
I love that. I love that on so many different levels because I know like almost all the people listening are in the real estate space.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we forget that. Like we
Yeah.
forget it when we're working with clients, we forget it when we're recruiting, we forget it when we're even like something as simple as hiring a VA. Like,
Yeah.
are we building these relationships? Because that's where a lot of us got into the business in the first place in real estate, is like it was generally for the people,
Yeah.
generally, not always, but more often than not, it's the people. And so I think when a lot of us get busier, or I see it a lot when we're helping people, like they're just, why is my recruiting falling flat? Well, maybe possibly because you didn't build a relationship. Why are my agents leaving? Well, did you
Yeah.
ask them what their goals were? Like it's all such a relationship business. So I love that you're putting that in the forefront. And I want to touch on, you talked about integrating your life with your business. How did you do that?
Oh my God, it has been a adventure for sure. I struggled for the longest time trying to figure out what it meant to number one, be a business owner, number two, what it meant to be successful, and then what I wanted in my life. I have never been a money motivated person. I've never been somebody that needs the biggest and best of anything. So for me, it was really, how can I find like true and utter happiness and joy each and every day? Because I can't do this every day, wake up and feel like I'm just running on this, hamster wheel. So I think it started small, just like an idea, like, can I be fully integrated? Which I will say is extremely hard because I do pick up my phone after 5 p.m. and I do answer phone calls at midnight and all of these things where people say you need boundaries. And I have to genuinely work on that. And it can become really hard when you view your clients as friends and family because you think that whatever they're calling about is the most important thing
Yeah.
in the universe. So, yeah, I mean, it's taken time and I'm still learning and definitely still growing in that area, but I'm happy with it that way. Like I think that it's what works for me. I don't think it works for everybody.
Yeah.
So yeah.
It's funny you say that. I have a couple clients now that are also my friends. And when I pick up the phone, we have to be like, is this work Jennifer or friend Jennifer? Like,
Yeah.
who am I talking to now? Because, like, we're so involved in our clients' businesses that it's hard not to, like, become friends. Like, I want to see, like, I want to see them grow. And, we see them have kids and we see them recruit agents that then become friends. And I think it's so, so important. It's important to me too. I know it's not important to a lot of business owners, but it truly is. Like, I want a long-term relationship. I don't want to just see them grow and then never talk to them again. Like I want to at least be able to check in.
I
So,
also think, just to interrupt, I also think that like I try to reflect on myself a lot
yeah.
and think about like what am needing in my own business. And I rarely need somebody to figure something out for me. Most of the time, I need somebody that I can just call and be like, hey, I don't know what the heck is going on. I'm struggling in this area. And that's the support that fuels me and my business. So
Hmm.
in return, when I'm providing a service to people, right? Like I do certain tasks for people, but at the end of the day, like that personal element is what's fueling their business. It's what gives them the motivation to know that they can keep going and they can keep doing this. So I feel like it's super important and I definitely need
Yeah.
it with my people.
I would imagine it helps you do their marketing too, right? Like if you know them, if you truly know them, do you kind of look at a post and you're like, oh, Jane Doe really wouldn't like this? Like she'd want it worded differently or she'd want it looking differently. Do you feel like that helps?
Yeah, I think it does. And I love the clients who like are willing to do the full in, like, this is who I am. This is what I want to showcase online. Because I think, like, with marketing, obviously, we want to make sure that your brand is out there, that you're consistent, you're providing relevant content, but that's all good and great for your portfolio. And to, like, if somebody looks you up, you have that established and they're like, okay, you're legitimate.
Yeah.
But like, where's the personality? And especially when you meet these people in real life, like, I tell clients all the time, what I do is to showcase who you are. But when you make an appointment with somebody, your interaction with them is what's going to sell them or not. So if
Mm-hmm.
we can showcase some of that online up front, it kind of gets a foot a little bit further in the door than just having to do it in your first meeting.
Yeah. They kind of know what they're going to get before you show
Yeah.
up. So they're already sold, probably.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
know so it's funny because before you said you didn't do any marketing before. You still don't do any marketing. And I didn't either up until like maybe 2 years ago. And I've actually found that it is really helpful now. Like when I go into a consultation, a lot of times these clients have already watched my YouTube videos. They've been on social media. Like they
Yeah.
know the weird, dorky person they're about to get on the other end. They're not surprised at this point. So I think that goes for any type of marketing, right? Like you're
Mhm.
kind of showcasing who you are, what you're about, maybe some of your values beforehand. So I could see how that would be really helpful if you had a good, solid relationship.
Yes.
What what's like the number one tip you'd give to like a real estate agent or broker owner in regards to their marketing?
I would say, I would say to find the one or the many things that give you the deepest joy and happiness and figure out how to integrate that deeply into your business. I think real estate agents and brokerages both, they think that they need to be the master of everything. And that's just not true. I like, if you just think about an interview, for example, you can go into an interview and have the best resume out of the entire bunch. But if
Mm-hmm.
you sit on in that meeting and you're miserable, you're not happy, you don't have any joy, and you're just like going through the motions, they're likely not going to hire you because they don't want to work with you. Whereas if somebody else is a little bit less qualified, but they go in and they have this magnetic energy and they're really pleasant to be around, then they may get the interview. So with real estate agents, I think a lot of the times they forget that they're in their own life, right? And that they just need to be real people and have real connections, be intentional. And when it comes to business, just do what you know best. And I think that if you do that, the rest will come, and I tell real estate agents all the time, you could find anybody to do what I do. And the reason why I do it is simply because you just don't want to. Like, your time is better spent doing something else. So, yeah, like, that's the other thing. Just hire people to do the things that you don't know how to do and just go out and be yourself.
Amazing. Love it. I love it. So, Sadie, if people want to get in touch with you, just to learn more about your services, which just for everybody that's listening in right now, currently Sadie only takes agents with Next Home Brokerage. Maybe she can tell you where to reach her to kind of stay on a wait list or something like that. But where is the best place for them to get more information?
Yeah, so you can always visit my website. It's always sunshineandroses.com. Email is good too, sadierose at it'salwayssunshineandroses.com. And then I'm on IG. I'm, like I said, I'm still working on my marketing, but it's always sunshine and roses. And you can typically find me anywhere under Sadie Rose Jones. I use my full name for pretty much everything.
Amazing. Well,
Yeah.
Sadie, thank you so much for joining us today and just kind of sharing your story and your messaging. I absolutely love it, and I'm so glad we became friends. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Bye.
Talk to you soon.